So if what I've done differently since, my first mistake was, I was intentional about what I did as far as like, having a child. So like my 8-year old, he was on purpose. Like he was a planned excursion and expense. You know what I'm saying? So I did it right, you're saying eventually. But now I don't, if I was starting over, I wouldn't think there's anything that I could do that would tell me anything about a woman that I would say was 100% accurate and guaranteed to hold up, because women are typically ran by their emotions. So if she, if she makes a promise to me to be a great wife today, she's in that spirit, cool. But when she's upset because now I done yelled at my son, or I done spanked him or something like that, now her emotional state is different. That promise she made to me to be a great wife is out the window. And so understanding that about women, understanding that to be true about women, I would never think that there's anything I can talk to or get her to say or prove that I would know that I can hold her to 10 years from now.
All right, go ahead, Hank, because I know Hank was about to ready answer the question. Go ahead.
I mean, there's little, I think, little things like you said. We need to have a conversation. Like, how is your parenting style? How's your, what is your style on how you discipline kids? How do you feel about that? Of course, I guess I think Will gave you the example of going to church and not going to church. Well, you need to know all of this before. Even had nothing to do with the kids. On if you want to go to church, you need to know this just on GP. If that's the your belief and where you stand, do you believe in going to church? So if you believe in going to church, I'm assuming we're not going to leave the kids at home and they not going to church. No, they're going to go to church with us. So all of those little questions like that needs to be asked. I would definitely, man, take a woman on a date to the park and watch and see how she interacts with other kids. Kids, it's not her. Kids don't belong to her. The kids y'all ever have. But, does she talk about having babies? And does she talk about having a lot of kids? Or just saying, I just want one kid? Well, right then and there, when she said just one kid, that let me know she's really not too fond of kids, but she at least wants to have one just to have experience. And you're a man who wants a lot of kids and you enjoy hanging and being around kids. Yeah, that might not be the woman for you. That might not be the woman for you. And that might not be a real good mother. If she said that, I just want one kid and that's it. And I just want, like I said, she just want to go through the experience. Oh, that's some bullshit. Well, then you don't really want no kids. You just want her to get them kids done and go get them over just to say you had one. Now, if you want them, you're more likely you're going to say, want one, I'm going to have another one, and then another one. And then you'll hear her later on in life talking about she's having baby fever. You know what I'm saying? Talking about, well, even though you can't have no more kids. Well, you too old to have kids. Your menopause done kicked in and your man done got a vasectomy, so he ain't getting reproducing with kids. But they still have that desire to have more kids. I said, you better enjoy your goddamn grandkids then. But finding that out as soon as possible is probably going to be the key for a lot of men to figure out if they're a good, motherfucker. Do they have younger brothers or younger sisters? And how was they? Did they raise them around them? And did they do when you hear them talk about them? Do you hear them talk about, I hated that I had to always watch my brother and sister? Oh, that's the red flag for me, saying that, yeah, you really not too fond of two kids, I could tell. Because you talk about how you hate it to have to always keep your brother and sister. Yeah, that's a problem for me. So,
yeah, I think somebody said this, like we jumped the gun soon, especially in this era. Um, and I think we need to base it on moral values. Do my beliefs line up with your beliefs? And then also just taking your time, I was engaged, I was not married when I got pregnant. My daughter wasn't a mistake. But the relationship that I have with my daughter's father wasn't based off of after I got pregnant. It was based off of we were dealing with each other for 2 years straight. So I seen his mood, he seen my mood. He introduced me to his family. I introduced him to my family. We I want to see how you act when it's just a boring day. I want to see how you act when you don't see me for a couple of days and all that. And I'm like I said, like Will said, I choose him all over again to have a baby. I'm not lying. I choose him all over again because even though we are not together, we're still a unit. You know, it's just a respectable thing because we have the same moral values. That's all.
would encourage men not to impregnate no woman who don't have anything to lose. I think we need to make that a lot more acceptable, that men are vetting for more than just the character. Character's great. I think that's awesome. You know, it's a pillar, but you typically tend to get the best from a woman, especially when you talk about deep-rooted things like kids, when she has something she's built, because women tend to respect what they build. If she's ultimately looking for you of a come up, an elevation, and then you throw a baby into the mix, you're always going to be carrying more weight, in my opinion. I think men need to raise their standards past the fact that she's pretty, past the fact she got character. How does she move as a single person? Like, what has she built? What does her life look like value wise? And then assess past that point. Most dudes don't think that far. They like, I got it. She the woman, I'm the man. No, F that. She needs to have something that she has built and sustained, in my opinion. If you're talking about bringing DNA and merging it together and doing it for a lifetime.
You say impregnate. No, dudes gotta stop fucking pretty losers. Like, and a lot of dudes do that. Like, y'all are fucking these pretty bums because they bad and not realizing that they got a 3-bedroom apartment with 4 roommates and they all sharing clothes. But because their Instagram look one way, you think it's cool. So you feel like you got a bad one. You take her to the house and now you're trying to figure out why you can't ever go to her spot because she got 4 fucking roommates. Like, y'all got to be real careful about where y'all stick y'all dick these days. Aside from catching something, you know what I'm saying? It's other bad shit to catch out here other than age, like a baby mama. That shit can be just as bad. So y'all niggas got to be real careful.
Yep. If I had to answer this question, I would say watch how you treat people who can't do anything for them. Kids, the elderly, even the pets. It's going to tell you a lot about their patience and their compassion. Also look at how they handle stress. Parenting is basically problem solving every day. So if they got something that goes on, they blowing up, then that kind of give you an idea of how they may respond when it comes to kids. And also, I think Hank hinted to this as well. You know, checking their values and discipline. Like, do they actually live by the things they talk about? If somebody can't keep their own life in order, budgeting, schedules, basic stability, then you kind of get what you get at that point. You know, study their patterns, man. I mean, there's so many things that you can really look at to kind of get an idea of what that person is going to be like. It won't be 100%, but I think you can gather enough data. I don't think people gather data at all. And that's what I think we be in these situations where we find out a lot later.